Owen Jones has one of the most dangerous guards in jiu-jitsu, and Owen's becoming known for being extremely good at finishing from outside ashi. But Gavin was able to defend Owen's outside ashi attacks on his way to upsetting Owen and winning the match. So let's take a look at how Gavin approached defending from outside ashi. When we ask the chatbot on the Outlier database how to escape from outside ashi, it recommends that if your opponent's attacking your right leg, use your hands to control their right leg. But the key is this is before they settle into the position. So as they're looking to enter into outside ashi on our right leg, we are looking to control their right leg so we can work to escape. And at least for me, instead of thinking about it as right versus left, it's been helpful to think about it in terms of the leg that's going over our hip versus the leg that's not. So when they're entering into the position, we're looking to interact with the leg that's going over our hip. And as the chatbot says, this control is critical for setting up wedging back takes.
When this leg's coming over, I'm interacting with this leg on the entry. So when he's bringing it over, maybe I'm taking these types of like thigh drag, cross scoop grips or whatever. And then from here, I can start to work into those same type of wedging back takes to counter. And that's what Gavin Corbe took the back at CGI.
But if your opponent has already settled into outside ashi, take a scoop grip on their left leg to initiate your escape. Here we can see Taylor's opponent successfully entered outside ashi on his right leg. So once they've entered into the position, Taylor's focus is on taking a scoop grip on the left leg. Or another way to say this is once they've entered into the position, instead of interacting with the leg that's going over your hip, you're now looking to interact with their other leg. And with his scoop grip on the other leg in place, he then focuses on externally rotating the knee of his primary leg and making both of his knees face the same direction. This allows Taylor to free the knee of his primary leg and go into counter offense.
Instead of taking a scoop grip on the leg over my hip, I'm going to take it on the leg that's on the outside of my body. And now my goal is to make both my knees face this way. So I'm going to turn my toes out so both my knees can face this way. And now it's hard for him to cross his feet because I have a scoop grip on this outside leg. So now when I fall, I'm trying to fall and free my knee down to the mat so then I can work to expose his heel from backside 50-50.
So here we can see as Owen's attacking the right leg of Gavin from outside ashi. Gavin takes a scoop grip on the left leg of Owen and focuses on making his knees face the same direction as he externally rotates the knee of his primary leg, allowing him to free his knee and start to counter with offense of his own, forcing Owen to let go of his own attack to defend. Gavin's leg lock defense was very impressive throughout this match and led to his victory. But now I want to talk about the way Owen was making connection and attacking from open guard. Now, when we're trying to make connection from a supine open guard, the chatbot on the Outlier database recommends to focus on the trail leg.
Mikey's discussed like this leg versus this leg. I always like this too.
It's so much better.
Traditionally, when we're retaining guard against outside passing, we're looking to connect our foot to their lead hip and scoop their lead leg to enter a traditional form of K-guard. But these days, it's becoming a bit more popular to get our foot connected to their lead hip, but use our hand to connect to their trail leg to enter what I've heard called reverse K-guard. And as we try to connect to their trail leg with our arm, if they bring their knee to the mat to defend, we can then switch our grip to their lead leg to attack it.
Yeah.
Like every time you start going to get my inside leg, I try to back it away. Now the front leg's exposed.
Available. Yeah.
Opposed to us just going to the front leg, and then they always just kick out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So the idea is it's easier to switch from their trail leg to their lead leg, as opposed to trying to switch from their lead leg to their trail leg. And just to show you it's not just Owen doing this, other great guard players like young Powell are doing it as well. Here you see Powell initially connects to the trail leg, and as Lucas sprawls to defend, he switches his attack to the lead leg to enter a traditional K-guard. And Lucas Kennard talks about how if your goal is to get to K-guard, the entry is probably going to be easier if you first threaten the other leg.
Is that if I'm looking for K-guard in this leg, I'm going to pretend like I'm attacking that leg first. If I look for this leg, he's going to backstep, and I'm going to go to K-guard instead. So make sure you show them the opposite leg first. If you want the outside leg, you attack the inside leg. If you want the inside leg, you attack the outside leg first.
So as the guard passer is working around towards north-south, we can look to use our arms to connect to their trail leg to attack it. And here we see Owen Jones doing exactly this, where he takes an overclass grip on the trail leg to enter into reverse K-guard, before using a Kani Basami to enter cross ashi for the finish. And here we can see Owen initially connects to the trail leg, before switching legs to attack the other leg for the finish. Now, if he's not able to enter the legs directly, it seems to be a trend that Owen likes to invert to get his head to the outside so his shin can get behind the knee of his opponent. We just saw it off the reverse K-guard entry, but here we see it off a failed Kani Basami, where Gavin's able to free his knee to prevent the entry into cross ashi, putting Owen in a bear trap type position. And Owen inverts to get his head to the outside so his shin can get behind the knee of his opponent. Again, this seems to be a very common position that Owen likes to get to, and I like the idea of taking a grip on their leg before using a back roll to get to this position here, which is basically Owen being on top in reverse X-guard. Now, I've noticed Tommy Langacker using this position as well when defending from the wedge. And from this top reverse X-guard position, if the defender's not focused on externally rotating their knee, we can look to use a Kani Basami to enter into cross ashi. But here we see Gavin is externally rotating his knee, which would make this entry hard for Owen. But another thing that's become very popular from X-guard is to pass the leg across our body to enter Oshiro X-guard. But if our opponent is hiding their leg from us, instead of grabbing it to pull it across our body, we can look to pummel our head in between their legs to achieve the same result. And this is what Owen does. He inverts, bringing his head in between the legs of Gavin to pass the leg across his body to enter Oshiro X-guard. Now, Gavin does a beautiful job of defending, so it doesn't lead to anything. But I really like the idea of trying to connect to the trail leg to attack it. But if you can't attack it directly, then use an inversion to bring your head to the outside and bring your shin behind their knee. And from here, we can use a back roll to enter this top reverse X-guard position. And if we can use it to enter their legs, this is great, but if not, we invert to pass their leg across our body to enter Oshiro X-guard. Now, the other thing I think Owen does extremely well that makes his guard very dangerous is as the top player is trying to pass towards north-south, if Owen starts on his right hip, he'll switch to his left hip to come out the back door, which allows him to connect to that trail leg and start to attack. So here we see Gavin trying to pass through north-south, and Owen starts on his right hip before switching to his left hip to retain his guard. But Gavin quickly tries a follow-up guard pass to the other side, but this time Owen already has his high leg in place and is already connecting to the trail leg of Gavin. And Owen tries this Kani Basami to enter into cross ashi, but Gavin's able to free his knee, forcing Owen into a bear trap. So Owen inverts and brings his shin behind the knee of Gavin, again getting to this position that seems to be a trend for Owen. So hopefully you were able to learn something from Gavin when it comes to escaping from outside ashi. And hopefully you're able to take away something from the way Owen connects to the trail leg when playing open guard, and finds different ways to get to this checkpoint here, where obviously you can look to attack a calf slicer if you wish, but a more interesting option might be to transition into this top reverse X-guard, as you look to set up your attacks from there. If you found this video helpful, you might be interested in how I think about playing seated open guard. And there's an exclusive video that's part of the Outlier database, but since you made it to the end of this video, I'll leave the link right here if you're interested in checking that out. This exclusive video is focused more on wrestling up, so hopefully you find it helpful as you work to develop your open guard game.